You don't have to talk right into it. Just like, yeah, they're pretty sensitive. It's just about like this distance, and you'll be cool. So, dial in case any questions get asked. All right. So, welcome to the Bill Moran Show, and we're here at Wildrose Brewery in Griffith, and we'd like to welcome our guest, Tom McDermott, Mayor McDermott from Hammond. Hey, we're so happy to have you on. Yeah. Hey, this is. But
plus that they got like five cameras on you.
Tom, you can't do this at WJOB.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Cheers. Cheers. Matt Reardon.
Back again.
He's been on the show before, and welcome him back.
Let it rip.
So let's get this started. Mayor.
Yeah, I'm not gonna know it. I'm not gonna know what to do with myself. I'm like, hey, yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've listened to that a couple of times. When do you get a word in edgewise?
You know what? But when I do, I make them count. Yes.
I'd say, Mayor, why don't you, because a couple of our listeners really, because they tune in from California and Texas, so why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, where you came from, and...
My dad and my mom had divorced when I was a kid, and my dad moved to a place called Hammond, Indiana. So my whole life, I grew up summertime in Hammond, Indiana, and winter I would go to school in California with my mom. So I grew up in California, and then when I graduated high school, I went to the United States Navy, and moved to Indiana. I've been there ever since. So over 20 years.
So you went to high school in California, and then you moved back here, and you went to... Awesome.
Which is where I met my wife, Marissa. And then she's from New York, and I convinced Marissa to move to this place called Hammond.
Yes. Yeah, she's a pretty smart lady, too, so yes, you are.
Yeah, you could get anyone from New York to move anywhere, if you ask me. New York City? Yeah, man. Yeah, so, and so you are now, so the history of your family, your dad obviously was mayor of Hammond. Right, and so now this is how many terms for you? Fourth term, awesome. So we're going to get back to you here in a bit, talk about some things. Matt, welcome back to the show. And
yeah, Bill, thanks for having me.
And so what I hope to discuss here real quickly is some of the big news in the area, economic development news about this data center. And so this is where I'm going to step back and let you guys tell the story and how it came to be, and this group that got put together, and
I'll give the front end, and I'll let the mayor fill in the middle. When these guys from New York and a guy from Indiana, Tom Dockage, he's a fellow 59er, and our families knew each other. Yeah, and I've known Tom, or like everybody overlapped at Andrean. Like one of his sisters was a year behind me. Anyway, we've known each other for a long time. So yeah, he's a good dude, and he likes. He's got he's famous, right? Exactly. So it's the kind of guy that gets shit all the time. Like, hey, I know your brother. Hey, your brother does a great job on, I kind of does, right?
Yeah, I've got to say, Andrean for some reason has a bunch of successful financial guys. Nick.
You know what? College prep is a thing.
Yeah.
They work hard at it.
I would have gone more than 1 year, but Father Menor and I just couldn't see eye to eye.
He probably bounced you down the hallway, and I bet you probably had it coming, Bill. Yep. Since he's mayor, yeah.
Wow, cool.
Yep. So these New York guys come in and they're looking in Chicago and they're looking by Cermak because that's a big hub, and somebody redid one of the old print facilities out over there. And anyway, they built this data center which connects to the main feed and connects to New York, and it has all the connectivity that's like running this shit right now, and everybody's phone and everywhere else. So they were looking in Illinois. Dockett says, why not look in Indiana? So there's Hammond that had already gone through the exercise with Amazon. So they had done all of this pre-work, put out this package together, sent it to Amazon, says, we got a location, found out about the fiber, found about what you need, and threw it out there. So it was from the economic development standpoint, site selection, Hammond had all their shit done. So it was pretty easy for me to say, well, Dockett, this is probably a really good spot. So let's deal with the normal challenges. So then Hammond jumped in and started whipping ass on getting everything lined up.
It's funny, too, because data center, they need reliable electric service. They need liquid on the Midwest Power Grid.
Yeah.
They need access to cooling water.
Yep.
Lake Michigan right there. They need
Yes.
fiber.
Yes.
And that-
Yes.
And then at that point about, you get access to Chicago, but you get the Illinois taxes.
Yes.
What's the state of Indiana?
$9.5 million. Yep, 11, 12 million. So you look at where, what Tom just kind of glossed over was, the state of Indiana, they don't give those credits, tax credits to anybody.
Right.
I know. They shot down, yes, what's that, from Fort Wayne? Yeah.
He
Yeah.
comes walking out with his head hanging low.
Yeah.
And we're going in next. And he's like, they aced us out. So we're going next, and we're like,
Uh-oh.
so we're going walking in there.
Yep.
And they asked for like 9.1 million and like 27 cents.
Yes.
They gave us the 27 cents.
Yep. We need this. And they did a little bit of grilling, but you could tell that they did their homework. And so Hammond was there, the mayor was there, Kevin Smith was there, and Phil Talon. So everybody's like geared up to answer. And Nips, yeah, everybody was geared up to answer a bunch of questions. We don't need you guys to be in here. They're problematic in this.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
you're not.
NIPSCO's
I
like,
don't work for NIPSCO.
it could have been the albatross, this whole thing.
But like, NIPSCO has incentives for big users too.
Right.
And NIPSCO stepped up. But
Yeah.
at the time, they were sort of a pain in our ass. And so we're walking into ABC,
Yeah.
the representative from NIPSCO comes walking up, and we're looking at it like, what the hell?
Whoa. Unless you got a big sack of money in your car to make this deal work a little better, I don't think we need you any cover. Because the way it was set up, that Dockett has a pretty good network of people in Indianapolis, and up and through the governor's office and his chief counsel. So from that end, it was worked on that end. From the city end, Hammond had everything ready. From the finance end, we're looking at, okay, what else do we need? So everything came together pretty nicely. And then they award the project. It is to the project, but it says a lot about the community it's in, because they wouldn't give the money away if they're like, well, what's going to happen to this $9.5 million? They expect it to be put in the ground. You know what I'm saying?
So
Right.
So we walk out, and my buddy, Tom, the mayor of Fort Wayne, still there. And we walk out, and we're high-fiving, and he's like, how did you guys do that? And I was like, mayor, it has nothing to do with me.
This is a team.
Hey,
This is a
hey,
great
mind
team.
you, that guy had 55 lawyers with him and all kind of planners. He had his whole whatever entourage. And, Fort Wayne is not shy about bilking the state out of cash. Between their two, they have 2 convention centers and a bunch of other crap they built over there. So it's not like they're getting a sharp stick in the eye. But it was just the fact that Hammond was organized to do this made all the difference in the world.
And the way it's been received.
Yeah, you catching any grief about this one?
Yeah. Now this is that one.
This is like a good project. I'd tell you, we're giving Hampton, we're
Yeah.
Yeah.
$10 million.
Yep.
And so usually you get some concern. Everybody's thrilled because
The interesting thing about this, for me at least, anyway, it's a different industry for Hammond. Hammond has been more of like the mecca of, like steel production or ancillary production.
Soap,
This is
corn,
a
and
clean
oil.
project, I would classify it as. A data center servicing a new industry in the area, becoming a data hub that is kind of it's a different direction than what Hammond has gone in before. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that progresses and how it expands throughout Hammond. This is.
I hope they take the whole side of it.
Yeah.
I hope we come back in 10 years and
Yeah, there's no more room out there.
NIT Indiana.
Yeah.
I hope they own the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because if they do, they'll be. The thing is, like, I always use it for my car in this. State Line General to our taxes. When we lost that, there was a lot of.
It was a big hit.
It's hard to put anything.
Well, they weren't putting much of anything up there.
Once you put condos, drive through. Your hair's going to stand on the end. Drive through that magnetic field, getting to because of the the substation.
Yep.
It was like there was really very little we could do there, and then along.
Well, Hammond could have done something. They could have spent $100 million to move the substations if they felt like it. And then you have what, 80, maybe 45 acres on the lake. You don't have any bases. It's crazy talk. You're never going to do it. So they're staying there, and so that's why it's $100 million to move. And even if we're talking move it just literally 200 yards, and that's like, well, it's about $100 million. Yeah, you got to. It's insane.
Like this site will never be anything but industrial-ish.
Right.
This is like it's a clean use of State Line Generator was known as one of the dirtiest coal power plants in the United States of America. But now we have this clean technology coming in with a greenhouse and solar and like battery. It's going to be
awesome.
So somebody did find somebody that was mad about it though. They're like, yeah, you could have saved the building. I love when people say that. I'm always like, I think it was in a paper, it was in a blog or a paper. Somebody's comment, and whenever I read that, I know. Whenever I read that, I think to myself, "Hey, man, write a check. You go buy the thing."
Right.
I'm really good about secure buildings.
Yeah.
Like if there's a building we don't have a use for it, I'm not
Get it gone.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to destroy history, but I don't want a dilapidated building laying around because that's been part of our problem for decades. So I'm not. If we don't have a use, that thing's gone.
So one other piece of the puzzle in this whole thing is how many jobs is this projected to bring into the area?
Construction-wise, it's going to be a lot, but once it's up and running, it's really self-automated.
Right.
Most of the jobs, the permanent jobs, are going to be like security type of jobs, and we're going to have to monitor 24/7. So a lot of the jobs are more, people going through and making sure nothing's
Maintenance, security, and safety. So you're looking at about 50 jobs at with just the small amount that we plan the proof of concept building, and it's like, well, it's only a proof of concept. It's still $40 million.
Right.
So it's and it's a small building. So there's a high deal of security, and then the access to the facility is key. So where it's located, so we're already cooperating with the Hammon Port Authority in Milan. There's a gate there already, so it's already secured access, and so we'll have 2 levels of security there. And once we work together, and then you'll still have that back access from Chicago through the bridge or whatever that thing is.
And I know at one time Homeland Security was saying anything on the lakefront had to have a certain amount of cameras and things going on there. So
plenty.
They're
all pointed at Chicago.
Yeah.
We do get a lot of it. I call it indoor crime. We've put a ring around the city of license plate reading cameras.
Yeah.
That really helps our detectives.
That's good to know that you get caught sooner or later. Yeah. So, this site, the good thing about it's going to be hard to get into and out of, and it's purposeful that way. And the other thing the mayor was pushing, not so much because it was like we need to do this because I think I want to force this on you, but it was about the Marquette plan and access. And Tom's like, hey, we got to figure out how to do this, and he knows that this power grid is over there, but he also rides his bike everywhere. So we're working on the site plan now, and the eventual build out will have a trail. It'll be about 200 feet plus or minus because the whole site's disturbed already. All the way to the lake's edge. So we're going to figure out, I know that we already have a preliminary plan that has a trail that links the Hammond Trail and the marina all the way around to Calumet Park. So you're going to be able to drive through that weird-ass area.
That's huge. I ride my bike to Chicago from my house a couple times a year, and that whole segment from right over there on the Skyway.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
You get to U.S. Steel on the other side.
Yep.
You're on the road. That's scary.
Yep.
You create this linkage really off the road.
So there's going to be 2. There's going to be one on the west boundary that you guys have already got fed funds for, and you probably those guys will probably start that. But then this other one's going to go around the lake, and then it'll take you out there. And you know what? I don't think we want people hanging out, but there's going to be benches and stuff at the outpoints on where the lake is, and people want to sit there underneath the power lines. More power to them, but it'll be there.
So there's going to be some beautification with this project, the trail and some other things.
We really worked with. This is the. I kept saying during our negotiation, this is the highest profile piece of property in the region.
Yeah.
It's the first thing you see as you leave Chicago on the Skyway and come into Indiana. It's literally. So this building is going to be aesthetically pleasing. And not only that, I'm working on a plan right now. We're trying to get the largest Indiana state flag posted up front wall. So
Awesome.
We're working on that as well. It's like a brand.
Yeah.
I went to Texas. The one thing that really stuck out, everywhere you go in Texas, you see the flag.
Giant Texas flag. So we're working on when the mayor brought that up. We're working on not only from an engineering standpoint, making sure that flag is there, because when you have the biggest flag and it's on Lake Michigan, it gets a little windy. So that pole's got to go pretty much into the bedrock. But we're working with the guys at the Indianapolis 500, and we want to see if we can work out a deal with them. So especially during race time, if they're going to fly all the, hopefully fly all the flags. And then we're also talking to other people. Hey, look, you know what? If you're a big Indiana and you're about Indiana, then if you have a flag, Hammond might consider putting it up there. I think it's cool.
That's a cool idea.
It's like branding ourselves,
Yeah.
We're in Indiana now, buddy, and this is, I love the whole. By the way, you know where the biggest flag is? You hear that?
It's in Wisconsin, right?
No, the biggest Indiana flag.
Where?
It's in Hoosier Stadium.
Oh, is it?
That's for the football.
That is a huge
The
thing.
biggest Indiana flag. And we want to.
Well, now we got one up. Yeah.
Yep. Well, forget.
All right, so this is probably the biggest project come along in a while. We talked about the Lear. That was a big win for Hammond, bringing Lear over. Not so good for Portage, but and the Holiday Group is. Oh yeah, that whole. Yeah.
That's polite.
The the Ameriplex project and the Holiday Group.
Ameriplex is like our biggest enemy. It seems like every time business is we go to court, it's just going to Ameriplex. And I've seen that happen too many times. That's why Lear, I was really pleased to see Lear leaving Ameriplex, come back to Hammond. So
That's cool.
A big deal for us. It's a $1 million project. 900 jobs under one roof. That's millions of jobs.
And they had to hustle to get that site done. Hustle to get it done. 11th hour, not going to happen. Yes, too late.
Out there, they started digging into the ground.
Yeah.
It's still like a gas plant, man.
Yep.
So you drive by there, you're like, oh my god, I hope I didn't. They're going to shut this down. Wait, the walls are up.
Yeah, there it's good to go. It's on 20. It's a good spot for them. They could get back and forth really easy to Chicago or two.
Broke ground, and then it's still petroleum. That piece of property, that was a non-productive piece of property. So Lear is a really good feel-good story for him. That was a big-time deal for us.
Yeah,
to get
good.
them in that piece of property,
Yeah, win-win.
it seems like I really got a great team. And, even when we're working with consultants, Matt and I work together on many projects.
Yeah.
He's working on a project right now, rebuilding one of our parks. But, the people we work with, all professional, pretty young.
Yeah,
Matt and I are probably the oldest.
we are. We didn't used to be. Damn
Pretty
it.
young when it started.
Right.
We're the old dudes.
Right.
Put on 10 years.
One of the things I always require people to live in the city. And,
Yeah.
contractors that don't necessarily live in Hammond, but people making decisions, they live there.
Yeah.
It's our city. So.
Well,
my
I will
office is
say,
in
and
Hammond.
it's just not about Hammond. It's about just the area in general. I did my internship at the old J&L plant that is now Minster Idle, and it's so. Man, I'm telling you, I don't even recognize that area anymore. Driving down 20, and it's like a completely different upgrade. So let's talk about some of the other projects, not just in Hammond, but around the region that's going on. And Matt, I know you kind of keep tuned into some of the other projects that are going on.
Well, one of them I was just at I still get shit about this. I'm on the Highland Economic Development Commission, and it's Dan Durnell, who's oddly enough now the Republican Party chairman for Lake County.
Watch your foot there.
When
take us off.
when Dan was a councilman in Highland, I was doing work for them, and he said, "Hey, you want to sit on this commission?" And at the time, I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" So ever since that happened, they're off my client list because I'm on their board. So my projects that like I would be involved in and talking about project financing, and I'm voting on it, I'm like, well, I can't really be that. Yes, Oh, he catches people. Like it's a running joke. They're like, "Is Reardon going to get put back on there?" So Mark Herrick was for like 10 years. So Mark Herrick was laughing. He goes, "Hey, by the way, at the last council meeting, we put you back on there." And I just said, "All right." But they're, yeah, he's a good dude. Oh yeah, right on. So. So anyway, this Cardinal Campus thing, Dr. Gendro. This is like another story where Hammond was involved. He was going to try and do this in Hammond. Hammond was trying to wrestle the old apartment site to the ground. So it wasn't like I said, the difference between the data center going, "Hey, I'm in here," and Gendro saying, "Hey, I'm in here." That's the difference. It wasn't ready to go. So. If you look at what is on Kennedy now, there's a bunch of stuff. Looks great. The 2 hotels. You got the Byway. You got that guy's doing that in Highland. $41 million. It was a very cool project on the corner of Main and Boulevard. Yes. So the guy finally gets it together. So anyway, he's going to spend $41 million. They mowing all that stuff down. Out of the way, those houses and crap that were over there. So anyway, the guy's going to throw in $41 million. So that's a big project for Highland. Highland came to the table with $16 million. Yep, on the west side. Yeah.
No.
So he's going to build the animal hospital goes in there, boutique hotel, and then a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, so Highland was fired up about it. So we had our meetings together last night.
I like that project.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I like that. It just didn't work.
Nope, it didn't work at the time.
Yeah, one project that I've talked to you about that I think, when I moved back in the area, I'm an old Lake County guy. My dad was a politician back in the 70s. And my move, I imagine, again, I talked to you about East Chicago, an intern there. But one thing that I've been highly impressed when I moved back into Highland is that Lincoln Center. Oh my gosh, that was an awesome project. That is
Lincoln Center is sort of what we're doing in Hammond, except for Hammond's going to be way bigger. The sportsplex we're building in Mumbai. It's a Lincoln Center on steroids. We're doing it more for tourism now. Lincoln Center is more for the use of
the town.
Yeah.
I remember when that was a struggle with some of the people, some of the elected officials in Highland were hemming and hawing about fixing that thing. I'm not kidding you. They were going to not fix it. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. What else are you going to do? You're going to knock it down? What do you think? No one else is going to buy it. So they made the right decision. They fixed it. Everybody I talk to that goes in there, I think my brother-in-law teaches yoga in there. They love it. Everybody loves it.
Oh, yeah. One thing that...
It's insane. It's what he does for a living. He's a yoga man. 10 years ago, right. Yeah. Yogi. Yes. He's yogi. No, I haven't done it in a while.
I did yoga.
It's hot. Sounds like a bad idea.
So I go in and forget hot yoga, and they're like, hey, if you get hot, just sit down.
Yeah, come on.
Sit down. Dude, I'm sitting down
Yeah, I've talked to people who are just like puddles all around them during that hot yoga stuff.
I feel like a fat guy when I get out of there, for sure. I'm like, it's like 15 pounds.
And well, one thing I'll say about the Lincoln Center, when I go through there, I work out there. And first of all, the gym is awesome. Better than any commercial gym I've ever belonged to. Past 40 years I've been working out. And then, you look around, you've got a place for the older people to sit and commute, just congregate and talk. And then you go into the field house, you got guys always having pickup games, they've got adult leagues, they've got kids. It's an awesome place for the community to get connected. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the sportsplex out in the Hammond, how that goes.
The way I see the sportsplex is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, be local programming, local leagues. Maybe we'll have men's 40 and over basketball, that kind of stuff. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be geared towards out-of-towners.
Yep.
People want to come in, stay in the region, participate in a volleyball tournament, or basketball tournament.
That'll be fantastic, and that'll be packed. So here's another project that the mayor has been working on that I'm also working on. It has to do with the Carsons and the vacant Walmart. So Al Krieger's the developer. He's getting ready to go there. He's trying to wrestle Carsons to the ground. And they talked about we're getting out of Maryville. We think that was just a lot of posturing. because you guys know how well they do at the Hammond store. So this project makes sense because it's right next to the multi-million-dollar sportsplex. So you know what? At some point in time, that old Carson's gets mowed down. That whole parking lot gets redone. There's going to probably be probably a pretty substantial restaurant up in the front pad, and then you're going to have Carson's and 2 or 3 other commercial people that are going to go in there. And so within about 3 years, that whole Woodmar shopping mall is going to look like its own different version of a lifestyle center, but it's going to have this giant sports anchor as the key.
And we have the outlet. So we have one commercial outlet and it's a really good story. I don't know if it's starting to go public yet, but it's cool. Like, we're really sort of saving the business and relocating them because they're really suffering right now. So it's a really good, feel good. And I agree with Matt. I don't think 5 years from now, I don't think Carson's going to be in that location. Hopefully they're in a different location.
Oh, they'll be in the building next door.
In that building they're currently in.
Yeah. But I mean, story of the Carsons, they're folding up everywhere, it seems, and so the Hammond is still going.
And plus they got a really sweetheart deal.
They got a nice deal. So that's exactly why they're looking to stay. So you put these guys in 50,000 or 60,000 square feet instead of they're in 127,000 feet on 3 floors. You would never build anything like that now. You'd be out of your mind.
Yeah, that's almost as big as a boat.
Right. Imagine that. Never do it. Right. Yeah. Right. And so that whole thing with the sports thing is a big anchor. So you talk about regional draw, that's a good one. There isn't a place like it. I know Crown Town has their area with their Puffy Dome, but not like this. I'm sure your Rand's all pissed off.
Yeah. He's always like, shut up, man. Like, you hear a crowd playing, like, what are we going to get? Is it going to be a Starbucks or is it going to be Krispy Kreme?
Yeah.
You know, like, we have to fight our ass off for everything. And having this guy, like, he's got business waiting in line to come there.
So I love a mayor that will.
The thing about every place has its advantages and disadvantages. So like with Dave, you know, like I think his clientele, his residents are pretty tough on him because they're really educated and they got money and they're type A personality. So Dave gets a lot more crap, I think, than a lot of other mayors would. We get different kinds of problems, you know.
Yeah.
But everybody's different.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. You do have your own kind of problems. Yeah. Exactly. If you have a large community like Hammond, you're going to have a diverse population, and you know, and you always get blamed for everything.
Hammond's the most diverse city in Indiana.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
That's cool.
It is cool. It's really like it's shocking if I ever hear like great stories. It's shocking. I can't even tell you the last time. We had a Human Relations Commission, and they really had nothing to do. So we expanded their jurisdiction, and now they're looking at LGBTQ issues. So they still don't have a lot to do. It's like Hammond's a very welcoming community.
That's well connected.
And it's changed already. Like we've turned over basically.
Yeah.
You're there in Hammond. You've gone through this spell where a lot of people moved out. A lot
Yeah.
of people did move out in the 80s and 90s. It seems like we're really stabilized, and I think college.
That's a huge thing. I'd still tell people that aren't from here. They're like, get the out of here. They're like, you get to wait a minute. Your kids get to go to college for free. I'm like, no shit. Yeah, and they're like, wait a sec. They're like, why isn't every house filled? And I said, right. Why isn't?
You know what the interesting thing is that when we first started it, we thought we would get this rush of people buying houses. We really haven't seen that, but what we stopped was the people who were around.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The people that were there, they're like, I'm not moving out now.
No.
Like, if you had 3 kids, it's $120,000 in scholarship buying that. So you saw the families just dig in. A lot of people start fixing it.
That's good.
If I'm staying here, I'm going to fix this place up, you know? Really, the stabilization was the most important part of College Town.
Yeah, and you know that's the other thing I've noticed about this region is the pride in the the personal properties. It's awesome, you know, and you know I've got it. You know, I always compare this area to Valparaiso. You know, I grew up here in Gary and in Maryville, and then we moved to Texas and came back and moved to Valparaiso.
I don't know why I saw you as like I saw Texas in you. I swear.
Oh,
It's so funny. What part of Texas?
Lubbock. Gosh darn Lubbock.
Funny. It's so funny. I was thinking about that. I was like, you remind me of a guy from Texas over there.
Oh, jeez. I'll take it.
Sure.
Texas flags everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, we don't have
Yeah, they're cool people. I mean, it was a nice area. It weren't for my dad. My dad, yeah. Well, you had to come back because family health reasons, but we'd still.
So I'm
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Still plant out there. When I worked in Nixville, every opportunity I had to get a pay raise, I took it.
Sure. Why not?
I ended up going out to Valpo every day and loved it.
Yeah.
Hey, I almost did a project in Valpo,
Yeah.
but then we ended up in Chesterton. Ursa Laboratories. Yep. Oh, he's still pissed at me, I'm sure. Well, it wasn't really his fault, though. They wanted the land. Yeah. Yeah, they were landlocked, and it's like, why would you do that if you didn't have to? If you're going to spend $500 million. Oh, of course they have. They're not losing it. No one's crying over them either. Right.
And they were always...
Yep. Yeah, as soon as they left, they knocked the building down. Literally, knocked the building down. And, Baker's selling that land over there that Urshel still owns, and they're putting all kinds of retail stuff up. So it was like boo-hoo for a minute. Nobody lost a job. Everybody just drove a little bit further. But, they're not hurting in any way.
Yeah, actually, it kind of improved the traffic in that area because when the semis came in and out of the Urshel Labs,
that's
it was
a bad
pain.
place. That was a bad place to have.
Yeah.
It was on Calumet Avenue. Yeah.
Right.
But it was not a good, with everything else that was going on around, it was like the change in what's happening. So it's like, you don't need to have that there. So anyway, Valpo.
Yeah. And, it kind of improved the whole site because now Gus moved one of his gas stations there, Family Express, on the corner, and they kind of branded it as a Valpo Viking type of theme.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear a funny Mayor Massa story? So when I was getting ready to go to law school, I got accepted to Valpo Law School, and I was waitlisted. So I ended up in Valpo, sent me a letter, and they said, we have this mentor program, and we partner you up with a Valpo grad, and they mentor you for your first year of law school. So I was getting ready to start my law school career there, and they mentored me.
Costas?
I go to his office, and we talked, and at that time, he had no idea he was going to be mayor, and I had no idea. And I reminded him, actually, after the time we got elected at the same time. And I reminded him about that, and he pulled out and he had pictures.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I like John.
Yeah. Oh, John's
Good mayor.
actually...
He's hanging it up, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is. I'll tell you in a
My
bit.
man, Matt Murphy.
Matt.
Likely suspect for it being
Actually, he was in the head of the economic development in
I know Murph for a long time.
And then he got out, and then Mayor dragged him in and got him registered, and he got on city council. I'll tell you a story. When we moved back to Valpo, that's before he got elected. You couldn't go down. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Glendale. It was the main. Yeah. So you couldn't go down Glendale without having to stop off and get a realignment after you got down there. It was bad. It was just stagnant. There was no repair work being done. So right away, one of the first things he did, repaved Glendale.
Yep.
And the beautification down. And then one of the things that. And that was a community project.
Yeah.
And they just another neat thing they did with Valparaiso is they hired this group to come in and actually go into the schools, and the kids designed a new Valparaiso. So, and they had a grand opening for it, and the kids actually were able to take. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and John's done a great job.
I feel like in a lot of ways it's real challenging to get there, but it's a challenging city. We got a lot of big city problems in a small town. And then I see a guy like Costas with the skating rink, and then you're going to
Let's get it skated. Well, he's got the perfect downtown, and then the county dumping, millions of dollars into the downtown. So he's got, there's some advantages. Yeah.
But but you guys didn't have an Urshel out there. Urshel, that skating rink was $3 million from Urshel family, and of course
and
it's
the
named after
YMCA,
Urshel. Right?
And pretty much whatever else. Yeah. No, not that one. They just spent. Who threw? I can't imagine what. I grew up down kind of by that area in Crown Point. The only thing that was down there was there was nothing there, man. It was the hospital was there, and St. Matthias Church, and there was nothing. Oh yeah.
I was getting out of the Navy, had no health insurance, and the only hospital in this whole area. So we were like, I was DA, but we couldn't get insurance when I was getting out. I had to buy insurance, and the only place to take insurance was
St. Anthony's in Crown Point. Nice.
Chase out there, he cost $12,000.
Oh.
And
Did you? Thank you. Yes.
For a couple years.
Yep.
Well, we got to move on, even though this is kind of laid back. We got to move on. Let's talk about. Oh yeah.
Sure.
I tell you what, you find someone else. If D'Lo buys you beer, let me know. I'll buy it. I'll one up them. So let's talk about something.
Frowns on that.
Let's talk about something we'll make.
This is about Facebook because we can do anything on Facebook.
Yeah.
We can do a striptease right now. It doesn't matter. I'm on
Right.
Facebook. Can't do a striptease in WJLP.
They can't play music. Then they can play music. I know, like that. You
Yeah.
play Rolling Stones and they're like, done. I know.
That's Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They cut you off, right? You play
Yeah,
any kind
well-
of music. Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't had a problem here. They have background music playing, and it's so far I think. And no.
You just had the Rolling Stones as your kind of opening song. Yeah.
So we have to actually like make sure we're passing the music when we do Facebook Live. Then I've got
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had a problem. This is now our fourth show from here, and they've always had me. Now they dial it down a bit, but you could still hear it in the background. But we haven't had a problem with that yet. So, oh yeah, it is. You know what? Yeah. Talking about breweries, I mean, there's some awesome breweries in this area. We got 18th Street, moved from Miller out to Hammond. That was another win-win for, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, man, that's a tough spot they were in Gary. I don't care what you say. That was kind of crammed back in there behind.
It was
like the weird century
dry
bank.
cleaning place.
Golick did it? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still open over there. Yeah.
Yeah, Byway's awesome. That's another, and this is this is another one that's kind of nighted environment.
I don't know if they built it just like this. Oh, I don't know.
They've got the garage door open during nice weather and patio out there.
They clean this up if they fixed it. I mean, that's like new clean brick. They put that tin shit on there and the electrical rewired it.
Yeah, I look up in the air and a lot of times, sometimes you get in an old warehouse and sometimes it's sketchy electrical work, but this is first notch right here. This is really good work. Yep. Yeah, Tony's. Yeah, it is.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. They've been good to us since we've been here. So, talking about, we'll probably.
Yeah, come on. I got shit I got to go through.
This may be. Yeah. This may be a topic where we have to order some more beer. The sheriff's race.
I love the sheriff's race.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think that. Yeah, I think that the guy who is the sheriff now should be the sheriff, Oscar Martinez. I think it's going to be very close. I think that you're going to see, because of the number of people in the race and the political shenanigans, and you got two, I mean, let's tell it like it is. You got two black guys in there. So one guy's going to take away from Ligon, who was the number 2 vote getter last time. So, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And Big Mike Brown, he's no joke. I mean, I don't mean to just slight him. He's a county vote getter. Then you got a former sheriff's wife in there, and then you got whatever that. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. So I mean, then you have all that going on. How I view that. Why we have an elected sheriff, I'll never know. We should. That's my position. Yeah. No. He's the chief of police. You find the most qualified guy or girl, and you pick them. Is there an elected FBI director? No. The director of the CIA? No. I mean, these are appointed professionals. Awesome. Right. He would be. He's qualified.
But it's so funny because we had a couple people running for county surveyor that were very political. And people are like, why is it so political? Like, kind of, I'm like, we're electing what I call, the engineer. I appoint my engineer. My engineer's a great engineer. He's not a politician, though.
No.
And, he would probably not be successful if we had to elect him to that spot. He was appointed. He's actually in.
Right.
There's a point to that. Should a law enforcement official be elected?
That's a great question.
Because
It's in the Constitution of
Yeah.
the states, as is like a surveyor. But I mean, there's professional services jobs that you could probably find a very highly qualified. Not that Oscar isn't. I'm not saying anything about anybody that's running for this. I'm talking about generally speaking. Hey, if I had a chance to do a national search and find a person who was the most qualified, and that was my methodology, or I had to find somebody who lived in Lake County. I mean, it's just math. So, I mean, what? We got 92 counties in Lake County, plus I had the other 49 states. Come on. You can't find anybody? Sure you can. But that's not where we're at.
But like as long as we're talking about changing the government, I don't think anybody has ever created 3 mayors in the county.
Oh, no. No.
Like cities run very well. They have a mayor who's elected by the people, and that person appoints the police.
Yeah.
And then like it works. And if
Right.
it doesn't work, you know who to blame. You blame the
Right.
mayor, and you bring another mayor in, and they make changes, and then hopefully you're happy with that. But in the county, we have 3 mayors, all elected. And then we have
Yep.
elected engineers, we have elected treasurers, elected auditors, elected police chiefs. You know, like it's. But anyway, getting back to the sheriff.
Yeah, you know, one thing.
I think Oscar's going to win. I think he'll have over 50% of the vote. Listen, I think it's a pretty bold prediction.
That's a lot.
I think so too with that many candidates, but I think Oscar's going to do well.
He's out working hard, and I see Dowling working hard. I see him at places where we're at. Yep, he is a good candidate. I mean, whenever I'm out with Mara doing her campaign thing, I always see those two. I think so. I really do.
Yeah, one thing is, the major problem was, and let's not even talk about all the, is the jail. I mean, yeah, and yeah.
I know.
There's a Dowling Park in Hammond, so it's over Texas.
Oh my God! He took a picture in front of Dowling Park sign. That was pretty funny. Oh, I know.
Dowling Park is named after his grandpa.
Yep.
He was preacher in Hammond. He's the second longest serving mayor in the history of the city now. So Dave's got good connections.
By the way, I didn't get it done, but I've got to say, next time you're on our show, we have a little gift for you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it has to do with the comment you made on WJOB.
Ooh.
It's certain about kicking someone's ass up and down. Yeah. So we've got a little something for you there.
Whose ass? I missed. Oh,
And I saw him a couple weeks ago.
you're like, hey man, sorry.
But
Sometimes go over my skis. I think I'm sort of my skis.
Sorry, it's early in the morning.
funny thing about it,
Friday.
you know, funny thing about it, he looks at Kevin, and Kevin's giving him like a weird look, and I meant politically.
gave him
I
that
meant politically.
Kevin gave him that disapproving look. Yeah. Yeah. Get a little more animated, which is funny. I like to see Kevin get all fired up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, speaking of our show, we had Veracco on from Lake Central Schools. And so he was giving the pitch. They're on the ballot May 8th. And he was talking about, where the Tri-Town schools, speaking of Dowling and all those people. So there's a lot of reasons why people will be voting. Also, yeah, May 8th. So you look at Tri-Town. I mean, I'm looking at like kind of numbers-wise. So you look at where Dowling's from, and he's kind of known for being from Tri-Town. And a lot of his support seems to be from there. And then Oscar seems his support is kind of up a little bit further north. And you look where his base is. And so then I see Veracco comes in. He's talking about the referendum. So that's going to bring people out to vote yes or no. I mean, I could tell you that Hammond just went through a referendum. The school board worked it. Hammond voted for it. There's places that voted for it, and there's places that voted against it. And the places that voted against it, all I can say is shame on you. Sorry, you need to step it up and choose your priorities better. It's right. It is there's a death spiral. So they showed the dollars per student. Gary was at the top. Munster was at the bottom. And you're like, what? Wait a minute. So hold on. Munster has 2 referendums. Gary votes no. What? Okay, hold on. Somebody needs to do something at the State House about that.
I didn't have this on the list, but let's talk about referendums because, one of the things.
Yeah,
okay, I'll pitch this. It's Trump. You know what, Trump? I'm throwing my
You
agenda.
don't have enough time. You don't have enough bandwidth for me to rail on that jackass.
Let's talk about referendums, because you know what? I think people forget how these things came to be. You know, we have to go back to what is the 2008 tax caps that were put in place.
Yes.
And, you know, put schools in a really difficult position because they had to look for a different method of funding. It's basically saying to the schools, hey, listen, if you want to make improvements.
Yeah. Except for the debt and transportation.
Right.
And then, to everybody based on, I think it's rooted in free lunches and reduced lunches. Some kind of, we have zero. Right. $2,500 less. So, but what the state didn't do is this. I understood, I voted against the caps. I knew it was going to happen. I'm like, this is terrible. Yeah. 70% of them, they're like, well, and I'm like, well, what did you think was going to happen? There's no money. Right. So
they end up with a surplus.
So when the state says, and then 2 years later, like, oh, wait a minute, we don't have enough money to do this. We're just going to raise sales tax 1 penny. Then we're going to collect that sales tax, and then we're going to give it back to you. Well, that was all bullshit. It's still not enough money, even when schools are just hatcheting people, and they're never giving teachers increases. And, there's everybody seems to, that are naysayers, point to the 1 or 2 school corporations that have 15 superintendents. And you can find them, don't get me wrong. But most of them don't. And, I think of it this way. There's people that are working there that are with your kids 8 hours a day. And you're bitching about paying them? Come on.
Over from 2000 to 2017, Indiana teachers lost over 16% of their paychecks to inflation, and we're the worst crop in the United States of America. And we're wondering why it's hard to fill these classes with qualified teachers.
Well, the mandates keep on going up from the State Department. ISTEP, we're at 2021, we're still looking at maintaining ISTEP, which in my eyes, from my past job, to me was a big failure. I mean, that thing was, when they did online testing, I said, this is not going to work. I mean, every school district. And so, I mean, teachers are under the crunch. And now we're talking about school safety on top of that. And we talk about administration, talking about,
shoot 'em up.
They should be a part of the solution.
My daughter's a teacher. She don't go.
Oh, yeah, Lindsay.
I love Lindsay. She's awesome. Lindsay's smart. She's beautiful. I would never want Lindsay to have a gun and protect her class. She's just not.
They have a hard enough job.
Teachers should have guns.
What?
Yeah, and
give the kids guns then while we're at it. Everybody,
I worked for Valpo Schools for 21 years, and I know those teachers. Now at the high school, there's some guy teachers that hunted and all, but they were the first ones saying, no, this, I'm skilled at using a gun, but, this shouldn't be happening. The whole idea should be taking that out of the area, and maybe come up with skilled resource officers, but no.
Well, when a cop walks into a building and he sees 5 people with a gun, I mean, if I was the cop, I'd shoot the 5 people that had guns, and then I'd sort out who the hell they were later. Oh, that was 2 teachers and well, okay. How would I know? Are you going to run around with a red hat on? Right.
Yeah. Well, one. Yeah.
But it's part of your safety program. So they're going back. Speaking of Mara and the Indiana General Assembly, they got to go back and they're going to throw some money at that issue, $5-6 million. So there's 300 and.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
How about add a 0 to it? Well, that's right. There's 392 school corporations.
And the last proposal I saw, they were going to make it a loan as far through the
loan.
The finance. Yeah,
safety
the school
loan.
Finance.
Is that what the program's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the proposal.
We're going to loan you $9 million. Right.
It's nothing. It's one camera.
That's it. Add 1 0 behind it.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's add 1 0. I think we got a little. I was going to say we got a little surplus. It's for the kids. Maybe we want to try that out.
Well, it is going to be interesting to see the special session what happens. I mean, those guys have got to be underneath the gun. At, what is it, $30,000 a day? They're talking it's going to cost us to have this special session that they didn't get to for various
that's kind
reasons.
of still amazing to me. You control everything, and it's like, come on. It's like trying to get your family out of your house at a particular time. Hey, damn it, I'm leaving at 5 o'clock. That's it. I'm leaving. If you're not in the car, I don't give a shit. I didn't go down there for that. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That'd be really tough. Yep.
Yeah, it was a zoo. It was an absolute zoo, and it's interesting. You know, you get a directive from the governor saying these are two topics that I want done, and the one was the school safety didn't get done, got kept on. You know, but we voted on a state bug. Yeah, we voted on that, but we didn't get to school safety.
I'm still kind of bummed out. I was going to get my eyeball tattoo, but I'm aced out. We got that taken care of.
Here's the state bug. What the hell was it anyway? Did anyone know?
I don't know.
Fire?
Who knows?
Here's our state bug. We got a state freaking bug.
That's important. To somebody it was. God. Run. Oh, that really? Man. No kidding. What's going on? Yep.
Well, let's move on to some more interesting. Where's the Cubs game? In fact, that's why I thought you're going to bail on us, because there's a Cubs.
Got the shitty Bulls.
Yeah, they lost to the Pirates yesterday. Damn them. And, you know, Cubs 5-5, and Pirates are playing them again tomorrow. Yeah, it is.
Not even.
You know, that's why I keep telling
concerned.
people, they keep on freaking at the beginning of the year. I say, you know what, they're meaningless. These games are and that's, you know.
Yeah, Rizzo got it hurt. He's on 10-day DL. No. Got a bench. Got some good pitching. I'm not worried about it.
It's going to be interesting to see the Atlanta game.
Solid.
But anyway,
people get all fired up. You know, the thing that when Madden said, he goes, you know, I'm just trying to win each series. If I'm not winning, I don't need to win them all. I can win 2-1. You know, I'm good with that. That's all my goal is. Let's just win the series. And that's a good, I mean, you start breaking it down into those kind of, hey, we just need to win the series. Yeah. You win a lot of games.
Yeah. I'll see how the year goes, but so far it's too early to have any judgment. But I still like him as a manager. The players seem to like him. You know, people criticize him during the playoffs, some of the changes he made, but you know, we still made out. You know, oh gosh, well, this show.
Yeah, Bill.
Hey, I don't care. Let's see. Just actually, these shows that are not attached to the Valpo show, just like a month. Like a month. That's it.
Right on.
Yeah, it's a weird story about how this came to be. And if you asked me about a year ago if I would have any show whatsoever, I'd say you're freaking nuts.
We were talking. We were like, man, he's got some dedication to do this shit.
Now it's and this really started out crazy. I don't know if you guys know who Noah Adams is. He's on NPR. You guys probably don't listen to NPR. You remember All Things Considered? Back in the 80s, Noah Adams actually was the host of that show. Fast forward, crazy series of events. I actually ended up going over to Lynn Ellis's house on Christmas Eve. His son-in-law is Noah Adams, he's a big author, and he was a host on NPR, All Things Considered. So, I don't know if you've ever met Lynn Ellis. He actually used to be at WJOB back in the day. And my dad was an old Lake County politician back in Gary. He was a precinct committeeman, moved to Maryville. He actually served on town board, blah, 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 and had an unsuccessful run, which is hilarious for the county council. The GOP put him up for it, and he was like, no, I want it. But at any rate, so Lynn knew my dad, so we were talking back and forth about, an hour and a half. Lynn, at 89 years old, monopolized the conversation. I mean, him and I were going back and forth
Like
talking about
monopolized it
politicians.
worse than Kuziak, or
And so next thing you know, this guy sitting next to me, a world-renowned author and a NPR nationally known radio show host, turns to me and says, has anyone ever told you you really need to get on radio? And and everyone stopped. And his wife, who was Lynn's daughter, said, yeah. And actually, she in her own right is a TED speaker. She's nationally known and actually runs the station that Noah works out of. And she's the general manager of a station in Ohio. So here I had two nationally known radio people tell me, and I'm like, yeah, and things happen for a reason. So like a month later, I have a friend that on WVLP, which is community-based,
Sure.
totally volunteer, says, hey, would you sub for me? I did. Bam.
liked it.
Yeah.
Sim-
At
Who does
close,
that?
but you know where the Valpo Tech Youth?
I did a show on there. I'm trying to think of.
You know where the Valpo Tech used to be?
Conservation Mike.
It's like off of 130 on the west side
Yeah.
of town. There's an old 3-story building, and it's in there. Actually, it originated out of front porch music, which is like a Chad Clifford. Oh yeah, actually he's played at the festival a couple of times.
Nice. Oh, so you've stood in? Oh. Anyway, yeah, you're like, hey, man. Yep. Hey.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Totally like talked him into it. And in the meantime, crop babies are playing. They're supposed to do a 45-minute set. They're like in their second hour.
Jam it out. Everything. Yep. Okay. Nice.
Oh, they're
Nice.
yeah. This segues into something else. And the Festival of the Lakes, dude. I mean, man, you're coming up with talent, like internationally known talent.
Yes. Yep. I'm fired up for that one. Yeah. Yeah. Did they? Yeah. Nice. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about and it's not done yet. You're not complete. Oh, you do? Yeah. So you're pretty much booked. All right, cool. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's been something
And then
that's
so
brought
you
a
guys
lot.
we're making it like a stadium now. Going to put it back up there because the trail's coming through. That'll be cool. Yep, that'll be cool. Gate to get in there and sit in there. Right. Hop in the fence by the splash pad. That's good. That's cool. Yeah. Back in the day. Yep. You're right. Yeah, the whole Wolf Lake Park and the RDA dough. That was $31 million. Big time. A lot of fun. Dean Budden, that's right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. He did. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Wow, man. Yeah. So this Festival of Lakes, and tell people when it is. And,
July 19th to 22nd. Wednesday, July 18th, 19th.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's online. GoHammond.com. You'll find it. Right. Oh, yeah, you will.
Yeah, no. I'm sure you'll mention it again. But how many people do you get through the gates?
20,000 a day.
Wow,
So
man.
the whole thing about it.
Wow. Yeah. And
then during the shows, we had a big show. That's awesome.
Yes.
Going up there, I think that's
Oh, yeah. Yep, a couple of times. Yeah. Oh, yeah. People are pumped.
T-shirt that costs like 75 cents. I'll throw it out there, like this 6-year-old grandma would catch it, and some guy would knock her over.
Yeah.
It's like,
Come on.
don't take it out of her hands. What's the matter with you?
Yep.
oh man, yeah, we're gonna have.
I'm doing this thing now where like I look for people carrying like 2 beers.
Yep. Throw it at them.
Because every time they buy a new beer, that's the bottom line.
That's right.
More beer sales. Yeah.
I remember when people were belly aching about that. Oh my God, they're gonna have a beer tent. We're like, well, why wouldn't you? People are watching the show. What? Come on, that's how you're gonna make money. And then people are. Uh-huh.
His idea is with beer tent where it used to be.
Yep.
Where it is now, which is
Closer to.
like literally like right on the stage.
Yes. Yes. Because it was far away. I know. And there was all kind of whatever going on there at the time. There wasn't many eyes on that. We had to, now you're right back behind the stage. So
Someone's starting their chopper outside. Man. Hey, so
Cubs,
the one more
Cubs up
topic
4-3.
that's going to need more.
yeah.
One more topic that could cause us to get more beer. Trump. Yeah. Oh man. I tell you.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Honestly, my biggest step back from my his attorney getting raided.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, man. If you don't the guy in Portage. Hey, if you don't report it, then you're gonna have a problem about it. And you can't really just say I didn't know. And it gets to a point. I mean, I talked to some Trump supporters, and they liked the fact that he doesn't give a shit about what he says or who he hires and the way that he's draining the swamp and all that. And I can appreciate a certain amount of that. But what I cannot appreciate is utter incompetence and his inability to command respect anywhere. I mean, at some point you have to say, hey, listen, you know what? I can't have my chief of staff and these people that I'm hand selecting quitting. Why are they doing this? Well, dude, you're an asshole. And that's why. And what my observation of him is this: he doesn't seem to care what happens to those around him. So look at his lawyer. So this guy was probably along for the ride. They're buddies, and he says, "Listen, I don't know. Hey, dude, you got to do something about this stripper because I can't have this. All right, fine, I'll take care of it. Out of sight, out of mind. Next thing you know, somebody says, "Hey, what about this 130?" And Trump's like, I don't know. Ask that guy. I don't know. Ask that dude. So guess who's going to go to jail? The dude who coughed up the 130. Yeah, I gave it to her. Yeah, well, I think he's already got his grief now. I mean, yeah. Hey, you know what? I paid for. Yep. So I mean, why he wouldn't just say that at this point? I don't know. Hey man, I gave her the 130 G's. So what? Yeah, I slept with her. Listen, I'm taking shit from my wife, and I'm still getting grief about it. But hey what? I still got elected. Yeah, and I'm not going to jail, right? I'm not going to be on the other end of that.
I think the best thing Donald Trump can do right now is
Just-
say, my 130,000, I gave it to Cohen. He settled the case for me. I didn't sign it because I didn't want my name.
I didn't want my name on it. I didn't want to be embarrassed. I didn't want anybody to find out. But tough shit, I already got elected. Yeah, I already got elected. What are you going to do? Yeah.
If Cohen gave $130,000, he could get a piece for that. Because you're limited to $2,600 annually as a federal candidate. You can't give you $130,000. It's against federal law.
Yeah.
Like, Donald Trump could get in serious trouble if he didn't give that $130,000, and that's what them raising that office. They're going to know. They're going to know
Yep.
Donald Trump gave the money. The best thing that can turn out is a wire from Donald Trump to him is on a very, very good.
Right.
It's been interesting because he's been taped on Air Force One saying he didn't know anything about the payment. So it's going to be interesting. See.
That's the worst thing he could say.
Oh, evident.
He's trying
Yeah.
to save his marriage. He should save his ass right now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like I said, let's look at what happens to the people around him. Manafort, jail. Flynn, ruined. Look at this lawyer, wrecked. Tillerson, No kidding. Right, fired by Twitter after he calls Trump a dumbass or a buffoon or whatever he called him, because he did.
Him a moron.
He did. He said this guy's a fucking moron.
The thing is, like, you have this guy that's like, these are respected Secretary of State, whether you like it or not, he was, and then Trump just fired him because I want robots working for me. If you have any questions, you're off my team.
Yeah, one argument I've always heard, he's a New Yorker. That whole thing, people got to get used to it. And the thing is, you look back at this history, the way he ran businesses, awful, freaking awful. The first thing it is, when his dad gave him $1 million, he screwed this guy out of it, and he was the one guy that, just not Atlanta, in New York, when he was building 2 projects, and this poor guy had I forget what it was, like a deli or something. And so he built up around him and forced the guy into bankruptcy, and that's the way he dealt. And
He had a small architecture firm. That's all they did for like 2 years. He was working on this project, and they were supposed to get, say, $1 million. And Trump ended up going to court with him. They settled for like $200,000.
Yeah.
Ruined the guy's business. Because like Trump is pretty good.
Yeah. So let's talk about tariffs. That's a sore subject because I talked to some people recently that 2 things have killed their retirement funds. One is Facebook, which is indirectly related to Trump, the collusion, or whether it happened or not, it drew up some really weaknesses in Facebook. But regardless, Facebook went down.
The thing is, honestly, about Facebook, Bill, nobody forced you to vote for anybody. If you
Right.
believe bullshit news and you voted according to it, whose fault is that? It's not the
Right.
president's fault. It's your fault.
Yeah.
It's really your fault.
You know what to me at least, what it speaks to is the common denominator in the United States is freaking scary right now. People, they just don't rationalize. They don't, for crying out loud, they were like mindless minions walking me in row, and it scares me. Yeah.
It's scary because if you can be convinced by some bullshit news story that from a media source you've never heard of, and you
Right.
vote according to that bullshit story, whose fault is it? Is it the president's fault?
Right.
It's your fault. Like, the Russians tried to influence our election. You're dumb enough to let them do it. Don't play manipulate it yourself. Like,
Yep.
I'm not mad at Facebook. We're not Democrat. I'm mad at
But,
Facebook. I
yeah.
believe right way.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much Facebook. It is, I think, the exploitation of the common denominator in the United States.
Well, it's the availability of what's purportedly information and news. But if you're directing whatever that information and news is, and you're good at it, and you're sending it to people that may or may not know which end is up, they keep reading things, and they're like, did you hear that Hillary Clinton has this? And did you hear that Trump did this? And I hear all this stuff, and I'm like, what? Come on. The thing that makes me laugh a lot about some of the Trump supporters are like, he's going to make America great again. I go, well, that sounds like a great statement. How? Well, he's going to build a wall. I go, bullshit. No one's building a wall. It's physically impossible. Let's just start with that. I said, it sounds like a bet he had at his country club. If I win, I'm going to build this wall. You watch and see. No, he's not. It's just asinine and a huge waste of money. And then you look at from there, you go, okay, what is the impacts of this? So what are we really talking about? Immigration. Hey, white people are really mad. A, they had a black president, and B, all these brown people are coming in here. So they're kind of pissy. And now you're running a woman. We can't have any of this. So let's put a stop to it. So, yes. Yeah. Yeah, forget it. No way, we're out. So then you look at the economics of it. Okay, we got 11 million, 13 million illegal immigrants doing what jobs, doing where? And I'm like, okay, so when you have the U.S. Chamber of Commerce say to everybody who will listen, if you do this, it will have a horrific impact on our economy. And everybody went, yeah, we're going to build a wall anyway. Well, all right, hold on a minute. Did you listen to those guys? Did you think they were making it up? They were not. So it's just the whole, it's so simple-minded what the stuff he talks about. And people are like, I like that kind of plain talk. I'm like, he sounds like a man with a paper head. Who would believe that shit? Hey, I'm going to go bomb Syria. I'm like, oh, you are you? Okay, well, let's think about that for a minute. Because Russia is putting their oil pipeline from Russia through Syria on the western side to get to Europe. So now what does Europe think about you blowing up their oil supply? you dumbass. I mean, it's just like, it's got to be so frustrating for people that are like, for real life, like our political science people and lawyers and know this stuff, just sitting there going, well, yeah, you could do that, but maybe you should consider the 5 other things that are going to happen if you do that. You know, a very simple example. When he said about Amazon. Now you have a sitting president undermining directly an American company because he's pissed because his real estate is not doing as well because of the operations of this company. Well, it could have been that reason, or he could have bumped his head. So put that in perspective. The president of the United States is going after an American company who has how many millions and millions of customers? So if I were Jeff Bezos, I would send in every goddamn package to whoever ordered it. Hey, I'm Jeff. You know what? That guy in the White House is a horse's ass. And the more he runs his mouth, the more money it's going to cost you. So why don't we all get together and get this clown out of that town?
Yeah. And you know, and we're talking about a company that has really stimulated American life. Everyone, Amazon boxes are everywhere. Now, the thing that is behind this, I think, is what media outlet are they connected with?
That's
In it.
Washington Post.
Yeah.
And the Washington Post isn't very flattering to our president.
No.
And he figures I can get this guy to the stock market. And probably lost billions of dollars to the stock market. You know, that obviously affects people. There's a lot of mutual funds out there that have stock.
And
Stock.
yeah. And here we were talking about a guy, Make American Great Again. Yeah, I've talked to people, $500,000 between 5 people they lost in a retirement fund. You know, that's going to be tough to make up. You know, you talk to any financial advisor, that's going to be...
He was bragging about the stock market being like 30% higher since he took office. The stock market's about 10% lower than when he took over now. We lost all that, and then we lost even more, so...
Yeah, and we're talking about someone that's unfiltered, getting on Twitter, making broad statements, and there's one thing that I think
The
they should have
douchebag
a law
law.
about a president not knowing how to spell. They should. Oh my gosh, take that phone away. But the one thing is, I think every president, regardless of that, realized whatever came out of their mouth, whatever communication came, it was going to have an effect on the market. You go back to George Bush, you go back to even Obama, certain things that they said, but I think they were at least thoughtful sometimes of what effect that they were going to have.
Are you sick of winning?
Huh?
We're winning and winning and winning and winning. Are you sick of it?
Oh my God.
Man, I'm getting sick.
Winning so much, you're going to be sick and tired of winning.
Yeah, you're going to be so sick and tired of winning that in 2018 the House is going to be Democrat. And then they're going to be looking for some payback because of your half-assed policies.
But for 2 years, the Republicans are control the government. And they got tax reform.
They got tax reform, and you know what? I like every part of it. I like every part of it except the 1% tax break for those people. I wouldn't have given that. I would have said, I understand the corporate tax break. I understand trying to repatriate money. I understand trying to drive manufacturing, and I agreed with all that until it's like the bet at the country club. Hey, I'm going to build that wall, and I'm going to get you a tax break. You watch and see. I'm going to run this 1% right in there with all the rest of that shit, and no one's going to say anything about it. And we're going to tell them that, hey, everybody be nice to rich people. I mean, there's only so many 1%ers. Yeah, they control 80% of the commerce.
Yeah. Talk about feeling sick.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, spilled beer is making me sick. I'm going to be feeling some...
Spilled it on your list?
No.
Uh-oh.
No. Because there's one important thing on this list that if I don't ask you,
You better
I
ask.
might as well not come home. That's how serious it is. Yeah, well, if you make us mad, it's not a good thing, right? If I don't ask this question, it's not going to be a good thing.
The judge thinks you can put me in jail. She may ask you.
I'm lucky I'm not married to the judges.
I think my wife would like to pass laws against what I do from time to time. She could.
All right, so for
Yes, she does, to get it done.
people, Kelly, and Kelly's, Kelly does this thing on our show called Region Rants. Oh my gosh, the lady really needs to decrease her caffeine input. Really, just say a couple of prayers for me on Sunday, okay? any rate, so this comes from Kelly. She's very serious about this. I mean, she's posted on Facebook that I was going to ask this question, so get ready. You're familiar with the Andy Griffith Show, right?
Of course I'm not Andy Griffith Show.
So,
Yeah.
yep, to whistle. So, do you realize? Yeah, we could. You want to whistle this one? So, at any rate, do you realize there was a Hammond resident that was on the Andy Griffith Show?
Get out of here.
No.
Crazy. I don't believe that. That's fake news.
So, there was a family.
We don't know who that is.
And Kelly did the research on this, believe me, and she's pretty. So you remember the Darlings? There were the
Toothless
hillbilly family
band.
came in, and they had a band.
The Hillbilly Family.
They were good though. The band.
Oh yeah, they were really good. So they were called on the show. They were called the Darlings, but in real life, it was an actual band called the Dillards. The Dillards, okay, and it was pretty famous, bluegrass. They were playing bluegrass. And so this guy's name that was a part of the band was Mitch Jane. And he was born in Hammond on July 5th, 1928. And
we celebrate every weekend in his honor.
you're going to have to answer.
Fireworks, the whole thing. It's great.
Dude, you can do that during Festival of Lakes this year.
There you go. Do
Wait,
something,
do you have
because you'll be
bluegrass
hearing
day?
from Kelly. And
Otherwise-
believe me,
Every July 5th, we always shoot out fireworks
Yep.
in his honor.
perfect. Or, you could choose that.
And, we do it on the 4th sometimes.
Perfect. All right, that's what I'm going to tell Kelly. We're just...
Really? No kidding.
Old school February. Because I read one time, Kevin and I were going, I forgot why we were looking up famous Hammond people.
Uh-huh.
This is how cheesy on this one. I was on that list.
Nice.
I was like,
Nice.
there hasn't been a lot.
You and your dad? Nice.
There hasn't been a lot of famous people from Hammond come on that list.
well, yeah. We made it to my list. Yeah.
Got through the list, man.
Yeah, and you know what? We've gone over.
Yep.
We do a lot of shows together. I mean, we don't do a lot of it, but we've done
No.
it before. He's a good host.
Oh yeah, this has been great. We got a lot of stuff talked about. Let me see. I think we got everything covered. Gosh, we could talk about Trump all night. I don't want to do that.
It's gonna give me.
I really
headache.
don't. Yeah, I feel.
So I just want to congratulate you on what you do. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
TV shows that talk about regional issues. You've
Yep.
done it for a long time. It's great to have many TV stations that work with us, and Facebook Live is making it possible to do these things.
And it's
Well,
cool
right
that
now,
you do it at different places and you help out different businesses. I know you do it here. I know you do it at the SIP in downtown Highland, which is cool. Yeah.
And we have the show in Valpo, but that's at a community-based station. So there's a lot. I couldn't go in a beer,
Sure.
brewery, do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you're from Lake
Very,
County.
very close.
They
Yeah.
want you out of town before the sun goes down over there. Yeah, get you out of the way home. Yep. Right.
Yeah, but I appreciate you saying that. Kelly and I have this vision of helping out, local companies, SIP, and Tiger, and we'd like to have you on again, and
Yeah.
and we'd like to have the sheriff and talk to him, and
Yep.
here's one thing I would love to do. Sheriff Reynolds over in Porter County is a great guy. Oh, yeah. In fact, he's one of the people that would probably be appointed. If we change that and appoint it, oh, he's I've never seen the sheriff's department, and I don't know Lake County very well, but I know a lot of his deputies.
Not so hot, before Oscar took over. Just pointing that out. Terrible.
I was not friends with John Bunty.
Oof. Bad news, man. All day. Going away for all day. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was rough. Yeah, it was so bad. Yep. Oh yeah. What? Yeah, oh, yeah. Hey, I have a question for you. Is Gensel still the prosecutor over there? Brian Gensel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will.
His brother Tony lives in Hammond. Yep. Yep. Yeah, Gensel. Your dad used to be buddies with, I can't remember, it's Tom Gensel was his name. Yep. They were buddies going back. Yep, old school Hammond. Yep.
He's going to have a contender coming up, though. It's going to be pretty tough. Gary Gurman. He's probably one of the, at least in Porter County, and a lot of people know him here. Gary is a very high-profile attorney and used to be the elected prosecutor back in 78 to 80. Very highly respected, and he just had a campaign thing going last night that was highly successful. And and he worked closely with the prosecutor's office, and it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But Gary, and he thought long and hard about doing this, and him and I sat down for a while, and he's 70 years old.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to tell you, he has schooled 20-year-olds on the court.
Yeah.
He actually just his basketball team, 65 and over, won the international championship in Europe and Italy. Oh yeah. You look at Gary, he's like 31-inch waist, and he's totally physically fit, and he's ready for the challenge.
I got to see what Jimmy Delo's dad could do to that guy.
Yeah, that guy told him, let's just settle this right now and put him and Gensel on the court and see who wins, and Gary would walk away easily. Yeah. So that's going to be happening in Porter County. But it's going to be interesting to see the mayor. Matt. I think he's been groomed for it.
I don't even know who's running against him.
No. The thing is, there's an uprising over there that may have a slight impact. But I'll be honest with you, Porter County GOP is like Democrat here. They've just got the war chest. They've got they know, and it's been predominant Republicans for years.
Yeah, the last one was Butterfield. Yeah,
right.
I was going to call him Butternut.
Yep, and
yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's still practicing.
Yeah.
And
is there any Democrats out there? I don't know of any, honestly. Couple council?
Yeah, Robert Cotton, and there's one other besides him.
That is a big deal.
And really, and that's what people are complaining about. That, and
who the hell let these two Democrats? What's going on? We don't like the influx from Lake County.
I'll be honest with you. I've never saw John sweat. And one time I'm sitting in, and he was our family lawyer for years, elder law. He wrote up my stepmom's will and everything for us. Great job, really well respected guy. But one thing about John, his demeanor is very calm and very professional. But one day I came into this Fluid Coffee Bar. It's right across from, and he's kind of bothered, and I go, John, what's wrong? What's going on? And I've got to go in and convince the city council to vote on the wheel tax. And I'm like, okay, here's what you do, John. Just tell them Bill Moran said it needs to be done. And he looks at me and says, I'll do that. Walked out. I've never seen John social, but they passed it. It's still controversial. And
fiscal Republican when it comes to finances. We did not pass the wheel tax. We didn't pass it.
No?
Well, one of the things I think John foresaw, and you probably see it going on in Hammond, is the TIF. A lot of things got funded through the TIF districts in Valparaiso. And, one of the things that, there's still a lot of road projects that needed to be done. And I think he saw that, they're not going to be able to tap those forever. And I don't know, Matt, you're probably more of an expert than I, but, what I heard him say is, we've got to find another source of funding for these road projects.
I understand why they did it. Because I'm always keeping an eye on road, too. If I ever want to go to Indiana, I can't be seen as like a stranger to the world. So I'm really careful about it. And when it comes to fiscal, we've eliminated multiple departments and let out hundreds of employees and stuff like that. So I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a pretty... And
but the money has to come from somewhere. That's what I'm saying. It's got to come from somewhere. So what are we going to go back to? The Barrett bond law where if you live on the road, you pay for it? Yeah, that's what I think they should do for every county road. That's my solution. Because there's no way I'd be wasting that money doing county roads between 10 farmers. And at that cost, it's not even worth it. And say, hey, you know what? I tell you what, guy, don't pay any tax. You guys be responsible for your own road.
Yeah.
And Porter County's got a lot of county roads. Lake County's got a lot.
Yeah. some of those county roads are in pretty bad shape, and that's the other thing.
Well, who's on them?
That's the problem. Like, you go into Couts, out in those areas, they get pretty shady pretty quick. They're out. You look at the rural areas in Porter County between cornfields. They get pretty well windswept, and plows tear them up.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work to be done. But we'll see how it pans out. But that's the problem. When we're looking at the caps with the effect that they had for municipalities to fund projects, it's a problem. You got to come up with the money somewhere.
It's approximately $1.38 is the cost of service for a residence. So for every dollar you collect, it costs you $1.38. That's the number. I mean, you got to make it up, or you just. Yeah, you're fortunate. Right.
Yeah. Well, listen, we
right.
probably got to call it a day. It's 8:30. Listen, I appreciate you guys coming out. I really do.
Anytime.
Nice seeing you, and Matt. Again, our listenership isn't great right now. But we'll put this up on YouTube, and then you could share it from there. All right.